Summer in a small, worn-out town. She watched him light a cigarette and stop looking around. There was something different in the way he didn't smile, like he walked 100 damn miles inside himself for a while. She once believed her love could fill his empty space, could mark him like a brand, carve a name across his face. But a man can't breathe in a borrowed skin, and no heart runs right when somebody else holds a pen. She yells, "Ain't I still your everything?" He said you were, but now I'm finally me. She felt her pride crack, but her jealousy turned to dust when she saw true love don't change, it learns to trust. It learns to trust. It learns to trust. She held a silver necklace that once lay on his chest, a token of possession, not of love or of the blessed. Her hands were shaking like a sinner near the pew, trying to grasp a man she never really knew. She whispered, "I thought I owned your night and day." Answered calm, "Darling, my soul ain't yours to sway." Then he took that necklace, laid it down in her palm, like a quiet ritual, not cruel, just calm. 'Cause a man finds peace when he stands alone, and no woman can hold what ain't hers to own. She asked, "Ain't I still your everything?" He said you were, but now I'm free to be. She didn't break, she finally understood the role as she let him walk back to the kingdom of his soul. To the kingdom of his soul. Last line, get luck and tread a lead. Some love ain't meant to capture, just to bless and let go. It happened at sundown, behind the diner light, camera wide, sky turning rust red, a shadow long as a memory on cracked pavement. She grabbed her one leather bag, pulled her hair back, chin lifted like someone convincing herself she wasn't breaking. In the past you'd have run after every retreating silhouette, begging like a man starving for what's already gone. But this time, camera tight, your hand stay still at your side, jaw locked, eyes steady as old stone. You didn't move, you just looked. She slowed her steps, expecting the familiar plea, but all she made was your silence. She didn't chase the lead in love, didn't reach, didn't cry. like a victory or a tragedy, just a chapter closing without drama. And you thought to yourself, I don't lose when someone leaves, I only lose when I forget who I am. You didn't chase the leaving lover, and in doing so you kept something worth far more. You kept your self-respect, your quiet thunder, your unbroken spine. If love returns, it returns freely, and if it leaves, you let it go clean. And the truth remains cold and shining like moonlight on steel rail. Love that's real don't shackle, and a strong heart don't beg. It was late afternoon at the edge of a dusty ranch road, sun dropping slow, painting copper on his jawline. Camera close, I'm sitting on the hood of an old Chevy, hands calm, cigarette barely burning, while she stood there, notebook in hand, eyes full of plans for what he could be. She'd once tried to sand down his rough edges, polish the grit, straighten the wild in him, dress a wolf in velvet cloth. But he just watched her with that steady outlaw silence, like an oak in the wind, bending not one damn inch. She spoke soft, I just want you better, but better meant different, and different meant not him. Cigarette to the dirt, that was his ritual, like stamping out the last apology for being himself. Then he looked at her, voice hoarse, warm, unwavering. If you love me, love the man I am, not the man you imagine. It wasn't anger, no thunder in that line, just the weight of a man who finally made peace with his nature. Her eyes dropped to the dust, and something shifted quiet inside her, not surrender, but recognition. She breathed out, you were never broken, just never tame. She learned she couldn't rewrite his story, couldn't bend his fate to her pen. He wasn't a script, he was a storm that wrote itself. She didn't lose him, she found the truth, that real love don't remodel, it respects the original stone. Now when they walk side by side, she doesn't pull, push or steer. was a black sky midnight out on the open flats. Clouds stacked like iron anvils, heavy with electricity. Camera wide, me standing all alone by a barbed wire fence, cold flapping like a torn flag in rebel wind. I spent years ducking thunder, trying to outrun tempers I didn't understand, fearing disorder like a sinner fears daylight. But that night I walked straight into the boiling dark, not like a victim, like a man ready to bargain with chaos. First drop of rain hit my cheek like a dare. I looked up and muttered, all right then, come on. I danced with the storm that night, let lightning paint my bones with white. Didn't fight the wind, I moved with it, hands spread wide, laughing like a man who ain't afraid to die. If the heavens wanted to test me, they learned I ain't one to break. I don't stand against the storm, I become the storm it made. Clothes, mud on my boots, rain slashing sideways, shirt plastered to my skin like a second spine. Thunder cracked above like the voice of something ancient, and I threw my arms out, spun slow under that roaring sky, and yelled, I ain't here to challenge you, I'm here to join you. No fear, only wildfire joy, the kind that comes when you stop begging heaven for mercy and start claiming your place beside it. Lightning struck a rock nearby, shattering it into smoking shards. Camera tied on my grin, that was my ritual, letting the storm carve my courage into stone. I laughed into the rain, I don't want calm skies anymore. I wanna know I can weather hell. I danced with the storm that night, and when the sky saw I wouldn't kneel, it finally bowed instead. Rain softened, wind gentle, thunder rode itself quiet, like a beast recognizing another beast. I walked out of that darkness, not as a man spared, but as a man crowned. And the truth still hums low inside me, like distant thunder, remembering my steps. The one who moves with the storm has no enemy in nature. It was near midnight, on the edge of the desert highway, moon hanging thin like a silver knife above the ridgeland. Camera wide, me standing alone by a dead Joshua tree, no witnesses but the wind. And whatever God was listening, I live my life by other folks' maps, walking their roads, speaking their lines, trying to become the man they thought I ought to be. But But that night, something snapped quiet. Not like thunder, more like a chain link giving way. Camera close, my hand pulling the old pocket knife, blade gleaming pale in moonlight. And I knew damn well this wasn't rebellion, this was rebirth. I rolled up my sleeve, took a breath through my teeth, and said to myself, no one riots me but me. I cut my skin and let the blood fall down, watched it sink into the dirt like a crimson crown. This road ain't leading me anymore. I choose where it bends. Let the night be my witness, let the earth be my friend. 'Cause a man who swears by blood ain't ever gonna break or bend. Camera tied, a bead of blood sliding off my wrist, hitting the ground with the weight of a verdict. Right then I felt the old ghost lean forward, voices of family, teachers, town elders all saying, do this, go there, be that. And I answered them, not with rage, but with iron. I ain't your echo, I walk my own trail. Now in that moment, fate didn't feel like a rope tied to my neck. It felt like a horse I finally mounted, hands on the reins, heels in the stirrups, looking dead into the dark ahead. I whispered to the sandy night, I ain't following destiny, I'm leading it. I marked the earth with my blood and it marked me back. The path didn't pull me, it followed in my track. I ain't waiting for a sign from heaven, I am the sign I need. A man who binds his fate with blood will never bow again to creed. Now I walk, not behind the world's command, but in front, with my own word as the compass, and the night still holds that vow like a scar in its memory. A man who seals his oath in blood never walks backward. Slow to liberate. Slow to liberate. Slow to liberate. Slow to liberate. It happened on a dry Tuesday noon, out behind the freight yard, sun high, shadows short, air buzzing with heat. Camera tied on my boots in the red dirt, their words hitting me like thrown gravel, sharp, petty, pointless. I used to spit back venom for venom, cuss louder, burn harder, try to win battles, and noise with more noise. But that day, I just stopped, my jaw locked shut like a vault. I steady as a nailed down cross, and I let the insults fall dead at my feet like bullets that ran out of powder. Lost still like a storm about to break. One of them jeered, what cat got your tongue? I didn't flinch, didn't blink, didn't breathe more than needed. silence is a loaded gun. Later, after they run out of jeers and bravado, they shuffled off, their laughter dying like a badly tuned engine. Left alone, I walked to that old metal water pump, splash cold iron on my face. That was my ritual. Camera closed, water dripping from chin. I steady in reflection of the palm steel, and I said to myself, you ain't quiet cause you're scared, you're quiet cause you're above it. Suddenly their mockery felt small, like children throwing rocks at the moon. I whispered, no one can drag me down if I don't step down to meet them. I let silence do the speaking, and it spoke like rolling thunder. They thought I backed down, they didn't realize I stood taller. I don't need fire in my mouth when I got iron in my spine, 'cause a man with an unbroken quiet can drown out a crowd of noise. Now when folks holler, I just watch them fade, like dust blown off a road by wind. And the truth rings clear as a church bell in an empty canyon. The silence of the strong is the storm inside their character. Past sundown, neon buzzing over a roadside bar, dusty wind dragging warm sand over your boots. Camera close on your hand, tight grip on a silver locket with his name, like he meant to claim him like land under a flag. You watched other women fight over him before, like gamblers with a single winning coin. But that night you saw something different in his eyes. Not a weak man flattered by affection, but a free damn stone, not made to be bottled or branded. You wanted to own him, but something in you already knew that wasn't how wildfire is held. You walked up to him slowly, like approaching a horse that's been broken too many times. And he didn't step back, but he didn't kneel forward either. You learned his heart ain't a trophy, ain't a ribbon to pin on your chest. He ain't a prize to be taken, he's a road you ride at your best. If you want a man built of thunder, you don't stand above, you stand beside. 'Cause a free man's love ain't captured, it only comes when it walks with pride. Hitching rail behind the bar, cigarette ember glowing in the wind, camera wide ember moon slicing through cloud. He leaned against a post, hands in his coat, voice dry as old whiskey. If you want me, you walk with me, not over me. You felt that like scripture delivered offhanded, no choir, no altar, just truth spoken from a bruised kind of faith. And something cracked inside you, not like breaking, but like ice learning to melt. You unclenched that locket in your fist, held it out over the gravel and let it drop. A tiny metallic thunk like a contract cancel. You didn't say it out loud, but the wind heard you think it. I don't need to own a heart to be worthy of walking next to it. You learn this heart ain't a prize, it's a path that walks back at you if you ain't trying to chain it. You stop reaching for control and reach for understanding. Now when you stand with him, your shadow touches his, not climbs on top of it. Cause love that's meant to run runs longer when let loose, and a heart that's free don't get stolen, it chooses. And that cold night truth still echoes like a church bell in a ghost town. A free heart is given, never taken. Midnight in a roadside shed behind an old ghost town chapel. Storm scratching the tin roof like claws on a casket. Lantern burning crooked, shadows stretching long. And I'm sitting at a splintered table with every sin I ever spun. One demon wore my pride, slick grin and black boot. One demon wore my shame, eyes like a dog I once kicked. Another one hummed like an old hurt heart, same tune as my father's disappointment. Camera close, my hand trembling on a chipped enamel plate. Breath slow, I steady, jaw stubborn. For the first time in years, I didn't look away. I pulled out a loaf of stale bread and I invited them to eat. I said, pull up a chair, boy, I'm done running. And the wind outside died like it wanted to listen. I broke bread with my demon, let him drink from my cup. Told him you ain't my executioner, you're the fire that forges me up. Cause a man who befriends his shadow never shivers at the night. If I can ride with my devil, I'll sure as hell ride through life. Camera shifts, clothes on, rusted revolver lying by my knee. One demon reached for it, thought I'd shoot him. Did I laugh, bone dry, steady? Hell no, we ain't killing tonight, we're learning. They look at me strange, like wolves staring at a hunter who just sat down with the pack. I poured a little whiskey, passed around like communion. The one with father's voice said, you finally know us. I answered, you ain't curses, just scars with memory. Y'all ain't the way or the west on. I cut deep because of you.
I broke bread with my demons. Oh, oh. Now they march at my side. Oh, oh. They don't bite at my heels no more. Oh, oh.
They watch my back when I ride.
Oh, oh. I turn monsters into servants. Oh, oh. Turn the venom into steel. Oh, oh. 'Cause a man who commands his darkness, oh, oh.
Ain't afraid of what he feels.
Oh, oh.
And when dawn crack weak through the boards, they vanish back into me. Quiet as breath, blind as shadow, waiting for command. Now I walk with a cold new calm, and if hell ever calls my name again, I won't whisper, I won't beg, I'll just grin and say I already ate with worse.
The sun bled in through a dirty motel curtain. Coffee gone cold last night, wish you still burning. Old brass key on his chest like a shackle and a chain. Little padlock penny with his ex-lover's name. Truck stop Bible, open page, pen ring stain. Ashtray full of nuts, he tried to own every flame. Folks say he used to call love a leash on wing. Jealous like a jailer, counting every breath she'd bring. He'd slam doors, raise hill, then kneel when it's late. Cross on the hill, staring down like a judge at the gate. Every stay with me sounded more like don't leave. Every kiss tasted like a contract you couldn't read. He stared at that key, felt the weight on his throat. Wind in the parking lot tugged at his coat. Under his breath, no choir, no band, just a half-broke prayer slipping out of his hand. Lord, I look like a man, but I move like a chain. If I can't love free, then don't send love again. They say there was a day his heartbeat changed, the day he learned to love without chains. He took that little padlock, kissed it goodbye, let it fall in the dust like a dead alibi. Later that night with a new girl's hand in his stars overhead, no walls, no grid. He looked her in the eyes, soft but unafraid, and said, I don't love you to keep you, I just wanna ride beside you while you're made to fly. A man who's done time in his own damn rage knows love ain't a cage, it's an open range. Couple months later in a roadside bar glow, neon cross flickering blue through the smoke. She walked in like a wildfire, dressed in black, tattoos like stories running down her back. Whiskey on her breath, scar on her lip, laugh like trouble, gun on her hip. Bartender whispered, son, that girl don't stay. She burns every fool who tries to make her obey. They dance slow anyway, boots dragging on wood, her head on his chest where the oaky one stood. Thunder roll, low jukebox hissed and cried. The storm outside sounded just like his old life. Out back by the truck, sky cracked with white rain starting to spit on the filter of his light. She flicked her ass, stared hard through the dark, and asked, she gonna cage me too? Let me keep my howl in my heart. He thumbed that empty chain where the padlock used to bite. Felt the ghost of his past tighten up for a fight. Then he opened up his hand, let the last link fall like a broken halo rolling off a sinner's wall. They say under that storm something holy broke loose. He laid down control like an old news. Took a rough restless hand, then raised it high like an outlaw prayer against a church house sky. He told her, I won't fence your fire, won't brand your name. I'll ride with your thunder, not drag your flame. If you ever need to leave, you won't hear me beg or cry, cause I don't love you to keep you. I'm here to run beside you while you tear up the sky. And the wind on that highway carried off his chains, left him rattling alone in the gravel and rain. Round here they still say when the night train sings, a love that lets you run outlives any love that clings.
I used to whisper prayers into the sky, ask some ghost above to tell me how to try.
Begging for a sign, for a nod, for a plan, looking anywhere except inside the damn man.
There was a time I thought strength came down, not up from bone, not up from ground. But a man gets tired of waiting on fate, and tired of hoping for grace that ain't straight. I said, if there's a God, I'll meet him on the dirt. Not on my knees, not begging in a torn down shirt. No halo above, no thunder command, just a raw shaking will of a self-made man. I straightened my back like I was holding up the sky, wiped the prayer from my mouth. I ain't living on standby. I clenched my fist like two iron vows, raised my head and said, the answer's in me now. A voice in the dark whispered, you challenge the divine. I growled, hell yes, the spark is already mine. Then I pressed my palm to my chest, felt the engine in the blood, and swore I'll build my own heaven where I stood. Cause a man finds truth when he stands upright, and the fire in his marrow outshines any starlight. I said, if there's a God, I'll meet him on the dirt. Not as a servant, but as one who's earned his worth. No angel, no scripture, no crown to demand, just a spine that won't bend, and a will that don't need command. I stopped waiting for miracles and became one. used to hide those bruises like stains of shame, walking around feeling less than my own name. Every hit, every fall, every busted try was another damn reason for me to drop my eyes. But one day I got tired of covering the cost, tired of pretending I was weak just cause I lost. A man don't grow by staying afraid, he grows by facing the punches he's paid. I raised my arm and showed the marks they left on me, said these ain't scars of losing, they're proof I stood and swung free. Let the whole damn town stare if they wanna stare. I ain't ashamed of wounds earned in the fight I chose to bear. I chose to bear. One tickle looks like life whipped you raw. I laughed, maybe it did, but I never once stayed on the floor. I pointed at a purple bruise, that's from not backing down. I touched a faded scar, and that's from taking back my ground. Then I did a simple right, pressed my hand over my chest and spoke low. I'm still here, and I ain't done yet. A man with no marks ain't never been tested, and a clean skin don't mean an honest life's been wrestled. I raised my arm and showed the marks they left on me, said these ain't scars of losing, they're proof I stood and swung free. I ain't the boy that hid, I'm the man that endured, and now they don't see a loser, they see someone who never bled. They see someone who never blurred. Last line. Lợi triệt ly để lại. If you fight and get bruised, it means you lived with guts. Finds his ground, and a heart ain't a heart if it can't beat its own sound. You ask, don't you want me anymore? I said I want what you can't give, freedom in my core. Your kiss used to rule me like a queen from her throne, but tonight it meets a heart that's finally grown.
steady as Judgment Day. You whispered, did I lose you? Did I slip from your hand? I answered, no, darling, I finally understand. Then I wiped your lipstick from my mouth like a simple quiet ride, not cruel, just right. 'Cause a man can't love when he's living enslaved, and no kiss commands the soul of the unshackled embrace. You asked, don't you want me anymore? I said I want what you can't give, freedom in my core. Your lips used to hold me like a chain in the dark, but tonight I walk out with my own spark. And the truth that I leave you with, when a heart stops kneeling, no kiss can reign over it. Dust in the wind, words blown off before they could begin. Folks heard me talk, but never took it in, like I was just a shadow wearing borrowed skin. I felt my voice crumble like old dried bones, so I found a slab of mountain rock, something that wouldn't be undone. If the world won't carry what I say, then I'll carve it where time can't scrape away. I slammed the chisel hard, sparks flying off the stone. Each strike a war drum saying I stand unknown. Blood on my knuckles, sweat in my eyes. I thunder, I exist, and I don't beg to be recognized. The devil whispered, boy, ain't nobody gonna care. I growled back, they will when my will is written there. I carve through pain, through breath, through doubt, like I was ripping out a silence that had chained me inside out. When I felt the stone bite back, cracking my skin, I let the blood fall, not as weakness, but as proof I'm all in. Ain't no voice louder than a vow in stone, and a man finds his gospel when he writes it on his own. I slam the chisel hard, sparks flying off the stone. Each strike a war drum saying I stand unknown. No choir, no witness, just me and the night. But damn if the stars didn't hear me fighting now. I don't need another soul to understand. I spoke, and the stone remembers the man.
past midnight down in Elkhorn County. I stood in that busted cabin with a weak man staring back at me. Dust on the floorboards, lantern hanging low and shy. I whispered, "You again, still doubting me, still scared to try." I ain't running from the past no more, I'm dragging it out to the light. If guilt's my cross, I'll carry it through the night. I poured the oil on the glass, lit the match with a steady hand. Watch that old me melt like wax on barren land. And when the flames kiss the face I used to wear, I swear that ain't me no more. Leave 'em in the fire if you dare. The devil on my shoulder grinned, said, "Boy, you sure you wanna burn your sin?" I laughed through the smoke, hell, I ain't even started yet. Then I felt that chain round my heart go slack and break where it had been said. I took a fist of ashes, rubbed it on my throat, not for superstition but for the promise in the oath. I ain't traced my worth in shiny glass, I carve it in scars and bone. If faith don't come from heaven, I'll build a damn faith of my own. I poured the oil on the glass, lit the match with a steady hand. Let that sad-eyed coward burn like a cursed brand. And when the fire rose up, speaking louder than prayer, I roared, "That ain't me no more, the man I am, don't scare." Last line, I don't ask the mirror who I am, I show it by what I do. It happened at first light, camera wide, morning sun bleeding pale over a burned out shack. Me standing ankle deep in the smoldering ruin of the man I used to be. I was the one who struck the match, who poured the liquor, who let the fire take the walls and memories. about being destroyed by others. Truth is, I was my own arsonist. I didn't lose my life, I burned it on purpose. Camera tight, I settling on my wrist like gray snowfall. Smoke climbing around me like the ghost of who I once was. I muttered to the charter, if I had the guts to ruin it, I damn sure got the guts to rebuild it. I rose from ashes of my own making, not like some holy miracle, but like a man who's sick of kneeling in his own wreckage. I torched the version of me that crawled, now I climb brick by burning brick. If I can burn, I can build, and I'd rather rise scarred than stay safe and die. Camera close, I knelt down and took a fistful of gray powder. Let it run through my fingers like unforgiving sand. That was my ritual, owning the cost of my own fire. I heard the old voice inside me, the weak one whisper, you shouldn't have done this. And I answered, no, I needed to do this, 'cause there's a point where mending ain't enough. You gotta start over with nothing but backbone and breathe. Camera wide again, the horizon ahead, bare bright, waiting for something I hadn't built yet. I spoke aloud like prophecy to myself. You burned, now you rebuild. I rose from the ashes of my own making, a one-man resurrection with no choir singing. Didn't wait for heaven, didn't beg the world. I walked out with smoke still on my shoulders, like a badge. I didn't come back as a man before, I came back as a man after. And the fire left me a final truth, etched deep as bone. The one who sets fire to his past ain't reborn by magic. He's reborn